Vishal and Shekhar, your latest film, JayeshBhai Jordaar, is topping the charts. This is yet another firecracker of an album consisting 6 songs. To start with, what was it one thing that you were most excited about when you came on board this film?
I mean, I think I speak for both of us when we say that the most exciting part for us is working with a new director. That is always the case. This, of course, is a young man, Divyang, who is, first timer and brought a lot of his own unique thought processes to the music. So it's always a learning experience for us. I mean,
Film songs are generally part of the screenplay. As composers, you have to figure out what's happening in the film and match the tune to the director's vision. You said in the past that you'd like to collaborate with directors that are who are your friends who understand you and your music better, and vice versa. In
mhm.
this case, this is Divyang Thakkar's first film. How much
Actually,
time
no,
did it?
that's not what we said. What we said is most of the directors we collaborate with are our friends. But of course, they didn't start out as friends. They started out as directors who we were working with. Then we became friends because we realized somewhere along the way that the tuning is I mean, we're on the same page as far as the music is concerned. That's an effort that Shekhar and I always really make. Uh, Trying to sort of stay very, very connected to the director's vision is crucial to anything we've done. We approach every soundtrack with the director's point of view. So I think somewhere along the way we become one entity, we become one team, and therefore we become friends.
Shekhar, you're a Gujarati, you're from Kutch. Was this also an added temptation to work on the film, which is set in Gujarat? And Vishal, you have of course sung that foot tapping number Ahmedabad Re from the film, Gujarati film, Wrong Side Raju. Was there a plan to include a Gujarati number for the film? And would it be nice to hear a Gujarati song by Vishal and Shekhar? Or is there a plan to release now a Gujarati song for the film like it used to happen in the 90s?
First of all, I think script being a part of the whole Gujarati culture, the clothes, the costumes, the character of JayeshBhai, and I think that I would give it to Divyang first for the most explosive narration which happened in Yashra Studios. I still remember Divyang was like almost on top of the dining table, narrating with so much of enthusiasm and so much of excitement that Vishal and I looked at each other and we were like, you know what, this is the soundtrack where we need to kind of bring in the Gujarati flavors. Need to bring in the vibe with a lot of electronic, with a lot of fun stuff happening in it. And I think we just kind of all of us connected. We were on the same page, and that's how the whole from Firecracker to Dheere Dheere Seekh Jaunga to the title track of JayeshBhai Jordaar. I think every single track was so much of fun and very exciting. And Vishal and I, I think straight after Tashan, I think this is the time we all decided that we're going to kind of bring in our musician friends inside the studio, and we'll take about 2 or 3 days per track, not more than that, and let everyone jam on it at the same time. So from Firecracker to the title track to Dheere Dheere Seekh Jaunga, I think all these tracks were just like made and thrashed out with a lot of energy and a lot of fun from all our musician friends at the same time. So that was fun. I think bringing in Gujarat is always a lot of fun where music is concerned, because music is very rich of Gujarat. The folk music is very, very, very rich. And the thing is bringing in flavors in a way that even in ballads, we've kind of, there's a very interesting way of bringing in the Gujarati folk bits, which is there in Dheere Dheere Seekh Jaunga. The opening of the title track of JayeshBhai Jordaar, that's got a full Gujarat flavor to it. So it was fun and very exciting for us to kind of do something in Gujarati. And Vishal and I are waiting to do a Gujarati film, full blown, completely all songs
I
Gujarati
will
film.
I will also say this. This is actually the first film. This is the film we were working on when COVID struck us all down, and this film was supposed to come out right around then. And then we ended up doing Firecracker and stuff like that, long distance over the lockdown, sending files back and forth, and getting the mix done over lockdown. So it's a film in that sense. It's a bit of a bittersweet thing, because we would have liked very much to have been more present and more sort of together and more through the whole thing to be more, spend more time with Divyang in the studio and get more of that vibe. But for whatever it's worth, I have to commend Divyang, Ranveer, Shalini, of course, Yashraj, for actually getting the film made, getting it together during such a unique and bizarre time in human history, and to keep such an honest vibe through it, like to keep a flavor intact, to keep texture of the film intact. It's really a stand-up job they've done, everyone.
Talking about your energy, please give us few lines from the title track. To me, it sounds like, it has so much energy that it can even awake a dead man. It has so much energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so it is the exact opposite of the character. If you think about it, the character is actually quite meek, and then he becomes Jordar, but not physically. He becomes Jordar by his actions, by his deeds, by what he does. He stands up for his wife and for his unborn daughter, and that's why he's JayeshBhai Jordaar, right? So we gave him a hero's track, even though he's a meek character. We gave him a hero's track. So it's Bhai to ekdam Jordar, Jordar, Jordar che, Bhai to ekdam Jordar, 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 Jordar. There we go.
I was recently going through this list of the loudest songs. They were mostly heavy metal noise, if I can say, with very high decibel levels. So, according to both of you, which is the loudest song that you have created?
Vishal, you should come for a Vishal-Shekhar concert. Then you'll know exactly what loud is. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't have a song where you felt like, okay, we kept the decibel levels higher than the average.
I'll tell you one song where we played a little bit of a trick. We did Sajna Ji Wari Wari, and on that loop at the beginning of Sajna Ji Wari Wari, it's filtered and it's kept kind of so that everyone will kind of crank it up when they hear it, and then when the bass line kicks in, it explodes because of that reason. So we did kind of mess with your minds on that one a little bit.
We're talking about the film song. So what is the best way to communicate with the director? And what do you do when you feel the director is wrong about your tune? And does it become a hindrance or difficult when a director starts using musical terms while explaining what he wants?
Well, it happens very often with us. In fact, it happened today. But it's but it's fun. It's fun. It's exactly what the director is trying to say. And when you have your friends who are directing the film, and over a couple of films, most of all these directors have become very, very close friends of ours, and we kind of hang out together, have dinners together, have lunch together. So we kind of understand their language. But if an outsider listens to what they're saying, they'll be a little shocked and a little scared. So when there is a term called darja, there's a very interesting that ये धुन जो है उसको थोड़ी दर्जे की जरूरत है. So then you understand that what darja is. And with the darja, when there's a physical action also like this, a darja, so there's a very interesting kind of whole combination. You just like laugh it out, and then you try and keep on doing better till everyone is happy in the room. So Vishal and I always have a lot of fun when we're doing our sessions with our friends, our directors, this and that. And we all pull each other's legs every single day, right? And then the fun process makes great music happen. That's the way it is.
But I will say this, I mean, also for whatever it's worth, when you make a song, right, you want as many people as possible to love it, to enjoy it, to feel it, right? So, I mean, obviously the first step towards that is a director. So they have every right to state their opinion in musical terms or non-musical terms, whatever. We, like I said, we believe in a collaborative process, right? And we enjoy that very much. We really enjoy the interaction between the directors, producers, everyone. I mean, look, everyone who's on a team, the objective should be that we make the best possible song, right?
Yeah,
so Shekhar,
you have to work with their vision. You have to work with what they have in mind. We have to work with the script, the vibe of the story, the vibe of the storytelling, the way it's been written, penned down, everything. A to Z.
I mean, I see a lot of people talk about their process like very seriously and very like it's very intense and making music. हम अपनी रूह में मतलब झांक के ऐसे music बना. We also do that, but we also enjoy ourselves while doing it. There's no reason to be stuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? The idea is to have a good time, and the idea is to, like, if there are 5 of you in a room, you should not alienate anyone. You should bring everyone. That's what music does. It brings everyone together, right?
Yeah,
That's the
it's
purpose of
inclusive. It's
music.
a very inclusive process. So everyone needs to be in the same room.
Talking about having fun. So today, please tell us, our viewers, what do you mean when you tell somebody you got a great vibe? Or are there more words?
Sorry?
So he's been
What?
hearing our previous interviews. So when there's a singer, see, I'll tell you. Let me explain it to you. There's a lot of people. A lot of times we've said this. When there's a singer at the mic, and if the composer says the vibe of that take was great, what great vibe? It means the pitch was all over the place. We'll have to do it again, but the vibe was great. Now the reason you do this is because as a composer, you want the singer to feel comfortable. You want them to feel encouraged. You don't want to discourage them, you don't want to worry them, you don't want to stress them. You want them to give their best performance. So we will always positively reinforce any singer who's at the microphone. So even if the take is not great, we'll always say the vibe was great, but let's do another one. We can get it better for pitch, or we can get better for time, or whatever's missing, you know.
Does all movies that you have worked on have good budgets, or you also have worked on a film which did not have that big budget for the music, but the filmmaker wanted a fine product? According to you, which was that one song or that or the album that did not have that required budget, but still it sounds and the outcome was really like a well-produced product?
The thing is, it's not about the budget. It's about what the song requires. There might be a song which sometimes just needs a guitar and voice. That's it, nothing else. Maybe there's a song which we think that maybe there should be a Prague Philharmonic, to be a part of this thing where the costs go absolutely high. We worked in kind of both the situations where some song budgets are very low and some song budgets are very high. So it depends on the song, pretty
I
much.
think for whatever it's worth, um, I won't name the film, I won't name the filmmaker out of respect, but there have been times in our life where we have worked purely out of love as well. That there's no budget involved at all, and we did that. I mean, for whatever it's worth, that is. I mean, the album that came out of that is one of our finest. I'll leave it to you to guess which one it is or whatever, for people to listen and figure out. But truly, music that we are very, very proud of has been made out of a sense of not out of a sense of picture ko promote karenge, not out of a sense of yahan pe ek point prove karenge, not out of a sense of itne sare record bik jayenge, none of that. Just make music for fun and love for the film itself, for the project, or for the story that needs to be told.
Bob is Fast is another album which you composed this year. You, of course, composed one track, Tu To Gaya Re, for the film. The film is, of course, directed by Diya Ghosh, who is Sujoy Ghosh's daughter. And you have this very successful working equation with Sujoy, right from Jhankar beats to Kahani. I even like the songs of Aladdin. Did you feel an extra pressure or a responsibility, maybe an emotional connection while composing music for Bob Biswas?
Sujoy and Dia they're family, and the thing is, we were very fortunate that Sujoy was not a part of this process. Totally out of it. It was only Dia making all the decisions, and she's a very bright kid, and she made a fantastic film. For those who've not seen Bob Biswas, please go and see Bob Biswas, because Dia's done a fab job. Abhishek is fantastic in the film. But I think the thing is, again, Vishal and I, we generally don't take that pressure. We just let the music flow, and the energy has to be great in the room. That's it. And a good song comes from that. So
I think specifically Dia didn't want. She had a very clear idea of what she wanted. A very quirky, crazy anthem for a murderer, like a song that will play during murder. It's not an item song. It's not a promotional song. It's not anything other than the sort of the weird mindset of the person for whom killing is a solution.
You all have a very special equation with Mr. Bachchan, with whom you have recorded many songs, be it the Genie rap or Ore Sawariya from Aladdin, Ekla Chalo Re from Kahani, Hey Buddy from Bhootnath, even the title track of Chehre that released last year. How is Mr. Bachchan behind the mic? Do you take a different approach when you record with him?
I think we just wait for the day that Mr. Bachchan is going to come to the studio. We wait for the day when he says, let's jam. We just wait for him to kind of be there. Is a different energy altogether. He's got so much of enthusiasm. He's got so much of love for music that we've all of us in the room, we've sat together and heard music for hours and hours. I remember a 5-6 hour listening session. We're just listening to all different kinds of music
from around the world. Yeah, just magic.
So much of jamming happening when all of us went on a world tour together. We actually booked a studio in New York and prepared something really special for the London show, which was the final show of the Unforgettable tour. So, Mr. B, we love Mr. B, and always a pleasure and always an honor to be in the same room with him making music.
What are your upcoming projects? We know you are composing music for Shah Rukh Khan, Sara Pathan, and Hrithik Roshan, Saif Ali Khan's Vikram Vedha. How are you planning to surprise your fans with these two albums?
Also, we are working on Fighter with Siddharth Anand. Yeah, so that's the
and
third.
we're also working on the DDLJ musical in Broadway. So these are all these are we've been working on some very special music. We're not thinking about surprising anyone or how people will react. We're trying our very best to stay honest to the film, to stay honest to the message, to the project, and to the message that we're trying to convey. We're trying very hard to sort of connect people. We're trying very hard to sort of keep the director's vision in mind, and also there's a what's the word, when you work towards something with an honest intention, right, it gives you a very pure and happy feeling when you go home at the end of the day. We're trying to keep that very close to our hearts. That's our most important payoff at this point.
And finally, I was watching your session at the Mami Movie Mela, where you both shared some very interesting stories or funny stories behind some of your chartbusters. So today, would you please like to share a new funny Bollywood story with me, please?
I'm happy to. Should we tell him about the hook riff in Ghungru and how that was born?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we were doing Ghungru Toot Gaye, right, for the film War, and so we had the song, we had the groove and everything, and everyone was really feeling it, and we were really enjoying it. But Siddharth kept insisting that something is missing. We always tease Siddharth Anand about his Punjabiyat, right, and how severe it is. He's like a dhol and tumbi Punjabi, like in his heart.
On his birthday 2 years ago, I gifted him a dhol. So you can understand his love for Punjabi music.
So we always mess with him on that. So Warren Mendonça, who's the guitar player who's in the room, right? He started playing this Tumbi lick, and Shekhar and I immediately jumped on. We were like, yes, this is it. So when you hear Ke ghungaru toot gaye, that slick vocal, immediately after that, tanga 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 tanga, is actually a guitar playing a Tumbi riff. So that was our gift to Siddharth Anand.
I was going to talk about that guy who came and removed a cassette.
That was too long ago. Aajkal thodi hota hai.
Please tell us.
So there's this guy who came to our studio way in the beginning. We had not even done Jhankar Beats then. We had done Pyar Mein Kabhi Kabhi, and we didn't know anyone in the business, right? Suddenly one day we got a call saying, मैं आमिर खान के साथ picture बना रहा हूँ, मैं आपसे मिलना चाहता हूँ. So we said, ठीक है, हम आपके ऑफिस में आते हैं. He said, नहीं, मैं आपके ऑफिस में आता हूँ. We were like, अरे, अच्छा, very good. So we were in our studio, and he came. And he was like, एकदम, थोड़ा एकदम खस्ता हालत में आए थे वो. And we were like, अच्छा, maybe it's an art film. Aamir does, sometimes he does cinema from another space. He was thinking differently as compared to any artist. So we said, welcome. He came into the studio. We gave him the big chair. Then he starts telling us, ये picture बना रहा हूँ मैं, etc. Or, and then he reaches into his kurta and he pulls out a cassette and he says, ये सुनिए. And the cassette has this blonde chick in a suggestive pose with an ice cream cone on the cover. We're like, ये क्या है? And he says, ये मेरी picture का music है. We're like, तो आप हमारे पास क्यों आए? हम तो music बनाते हैं. He said, नहीं, ये तो मेरे ideas हैं. मैंने सोचे हैं, tape पे डाले. आप सुनिए एक बार, आप समझ जाओगे. So, okay. And then the songs started to play, and they were really bizarre songs. And we heard all of them, and we have stories about each and every one of them, but I'm not going to recount that now. The whole idea is, it was a surreal and bizarre experience. This guy was on some other planet. I don't think Aamir Khan would have ever heard of him also. And while he was leaving, he insisted that on वो पहला वाला गाना जो आपने सुना ना, उस पे मैं तांडव करवाऊंगा. And we said, अच्छा करवाइए. I mean, आपकी picture है, जो करवाना करवाओ. He said, आजकल कोई ठीक से नहीं करता. देखिए. And he jumped up on a bench we had, and he started to do the bloody तांडव outside our studio, and we were stunned. We were like, ये क्या हो रहा है? So then we just let him go.
Vishal and Shekhar, thank you so much and best of luck.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shekhar.
Vishal, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vishal,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.